Hi everyone, it's Morgan from For Love of Paper, and I am here with another layout process video. This time I am using my September kit from d-lish scraps, and is their Just Add Paper kit, and the theme this month was rainbow. So it had all sorts of different colors and different embellishments in the kit, and I just absolutely fell in love with it. In fact, I used nearly the entire kit on this layout. I think there was about 4 little bits left over and the rest of the washi tape that I didn't use. So I absolutely killed this kit in one layout, and it was so fun. And it's got a wood veneer piece in it that says, what does it say? You colour my world. And I decided to use this photo of myself and Sam and Roman. That was when I was in hospital after I'd had Roman, and because they do colour my world, those two little monsters. And yeah, so that was one of the photos that I had that had all 3 of us in it. I really do need to take some more with all 3 of us. So yeah, that's what I decided to go with. And I had a bit of a plan in mind how I wanted this layout to go. I wanted to do it like a rainbow, but going down the page. And then when I actually started laying things out, it didn't work at all. So I ended up doing it a rainbow going across the page. So I was just adding some gesso to the paper. I need to get some clear gesso, because this is white gesso, as you can tell, and I thought I bought clear gesso the other day, but I did not. I bought something else that wasn't that. I think I picked up the wrong jar off the shelf, but never mind. So as you can see in the background, I did off camera, I laid out all my pieces, and it took me so long. It probably took me like half an hour to lay them all out and get them sort of how they wanted, and I didn't need to put that in the video. So I kind of have it set out up there. You can kind of see what it's going to look like, and then you'll see me redo it all again when I stick it all down, and I do sort of change it up a little. And yeah, so I went and got my gelatos out, and I decided to color in the chipboard piece, the wood veneer piece, in a rainbow pattern with my gelatos. And when I had them all out, I didn't realize I had so many. I really thought I only had a few, but I've got an entire rainbow of gelato colors apparently, which was pretty handy for this layout. And I really love using them on wood veneer. I've done it a couple of times recently, and I really, really love it. It's so fun to color in the wood veneer with the gelatos. It's nice and crisp and clear. And so I colored them the same as I did the colors across my page. So there you go. That's kind of how the layout's going to look. But I want to add some watercolor to the background. So I'm just sort of moving everything off to the side. And I did take a photo before I moved it all off the page, so that I could sort of replicate it back how it was to start with. And then I'm using these, I think they're called metallic watercolors. They were just from Spotlight. I think they were $6 maybe. And yeah, they do have sort of a metallic-y, glittery tinge to them. They're pretty cheap, and they're not the best watercolors, but I only wanted something light in the background. This has a really nice selection of colors. Like, as you can see on there, it's not like, they're not really bright. They're kind of a little bit muted because they've got that metallic glitteryness to them. So I just went through and wet my paintbrush, and then applied some of the paint to it, and it's quite wet when I did that, and then just used the packaging technique to smush it onto the page. And as you can see, it's not super bright, which is all I wanted. I just wanted a little bit of color in the background. So I go through and do that for each colour. So there's purple, blue, 2 greens, yellow, orange, red, pink, and then a sort of a pinky purple colour. And yeah, so go through and do all of that before I come back in and start adding my embellishments in. And I'm going to have to pause my voiceover because, as usual, someone has just woken up from their nap as soon as I start doing something. Might leave him for a second, see if he goes back to sleep. He hasn't been asleep all that long. So that's kind of a lime green, which really didn't come out that well. And then I wanted kind of a bright yellow on the end, and that it didn't quite fit. I didn't leave enough space. So I do the I do the yellow on the other side of the page. And oh, sorry, I don't know if you can hear that. Sam's gone in to check out Roman. All right, I might pause this and I will come back in a moment. So I'm back. Sorry, and if you hear any little noises in the background, that will be little Roman having his lunch. And yeah, so I went through and added in the pink and the red, and then I decided I wanted to add a little bit more color to those, like would kind of define them a bit more. They sort of blended too much for my liking. So I just added some paint with a paintbrush, and then the final 2 colors were the orange and yellow. And there wasn't much space for the yellow again on this side, but I managed to squish a bit in there. And then I think, did I add a few splatters? No, I didn't. I thought I might have, but I couldn't remember. I don't have the layout in front of me. So yeah. And this doily was part of the kit, and I'm using that kind of as my starting point for everything, really. And just sticking that behind my photo. And I was going to do the purple coming out both sides, but then decided that I really it would seem that the purple was too big of a section then, so I just decided to do it on one side, if that makes sense. And then going through and adding in all the other colors after that. Sorry, I'm just struggling here because someone's trying to grab at the microphone as I'm trying to talk into it. You shouldn't ever work with kids, honestly. They don't make life easy some days. And I trimmed down a lot of the tags, the circle tags, because they were sort of, they had a light to dark gradient of the colour on them. So I chopped them in half so I could use them in 2 different parts of the layout. So the purple one I put on one side, and then the other half of it was kind of the lighter pinky purple, so I think I used that on the other side. And I did pull a few other things from my stash that weren't in my kit. This little flower wasn't in there, the purple star wasn't in the kit, and that flag, I can't remember where I got that, but actually that might have been in a previous d-lish scraps kit, I think. And yeah, so I just sort of brought in a bunch of stuff so I could have all the colors blending together. And that's a little tiny word sticker that says hello, I think, and it's kind of a darker blue than the rest, but I wanted to tie it in with the purple a little. And then I can't remember what that little sticker says. That was from a really, really old Kaiser Craft sheet. And then just tucking that little half circle label in behind the big flower. And all up, this layout actually took me ages. This took me probably about an hour and a half, hour 45, I think, to do this one, because I laid everything out beforehand and then took it all off and redid it, it did take a while. And then also finding all the pieces. I had to go through all my stash containers because I've got all my embellishments sorted by colour. So I went through everything to get all the colours that I wanted. And I really have to apologise about all the background noise. Someone's being fussy over here and someone else is making a bunch of noise around the corner. So I do apologise for all the sounds in the background, but this is literally the only time I can record this voiceover. I was hoping to get it done before Roman woke up, but as you can tell, that didn't quite happen. So, we just work with what we've got, don't we? And I'm sure as most of you or some of you have got kids, so you understand what it's like to try and get things done with tiny humans around the place. And what was from my kit? Most of that was, the pink circle label was from my stash, and so was the Diamante flower at the top. I can't even remember where I got those from. I can't remember. I've got a bunch of those little Diamante flowers, but I don't ever remember buying them, so they could have been given to me by someone. And this amazing glitter heart. I love this. I loved the silver one in the previous kit too. I kind of want some more of those, I think, because they're really good. And they're nice and solid and chunky, and they take up a good amount of space on the page. So going through trying to find some red things, the flowers in the kit. I think the flare badge was too, I can't remember. And then trying that orange flare badge was, and the orange bow was, and that yellow tag was also part of this month's kit. And I used so much glue on this layout. Everything just about is glued on. Actually, everything except for the doily and the photo was glued onto the layout. And then I had these teeny tiny little resin hearts, and I think they were from a kit at the beginning of the year sometime. And I managed to use that on this lad as well. And then I flipped that tag around and just put it on the other side. Otherwise, I was never going to use that piece of tag. It would have just gone in the bin, and I didn't want that. And then it kind of continues the colour around, especially because I didn't have much space to put yellow on either side. It was nice to be able to fit it in on both sides and tie it all together. And then what am I doing now? I was going through and finding another little another little yellow embellishment to put on there. I managed to use quite a few flowers on this layout, and you don't even really notice that they're flowers, I guess, because everything's sort of all together. So despite there being two boys in the layout, I did use a lot of flowers. Well, I'm in there too, so that makes all the difference. It's the first photo I've scrapped of myself in quite some time. And what was this one? This one was from a really old Simple Stories kit. I think it may have been a Valentine's kit that they did last year. It might have been this year, but I think it was from last year. And I do end up gluing that down because it doesn't like sticking to the gesso very well. And of course, no layout would be complete without some little enamel dots. And these ones were from d-lish scraps, and I used the hearts, and then I used these ones which were from a Chamel kit, and they were just some little, I think I used a star and a circle on that one. I used quite a lot on this layout. What's that, 4 or 5 little enamel dots on this layout? And what else do I add on? I think I just put I stick this down. So this is for the challenge for this month. I didn't use the the sketch this month. And I normally do use the sketch for my layout, but this month it just didn't speak to me. I couldn't envision what I wanted to do, so I just went with my own thing, but used the rainbow pictures as my inspiration instead, which was really fun. It was super fun to use all the colors on one page. I very rarely do that. I usually stick to, you know, black, white, grey, and then a couple of colors. So it was nice to use a big variety of bits and pieces on a layout, and also get a little bit of mixed media on there as well. And I think that is this layout done. Do I do a little border? Oh, I write the date in there, and I might do a little scribbly border around the outside. I can't remember. And that is this layout done, guys. So thanks for watching. I will leave a link to d-lish scraps below, so you can go and check out their kits for yourself. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more videos. Thanks for watching. Bye.